She was paid to ruin his blind date, but the single dad CEO millionaire fell in love. Instead, the restaurant was buzzing with quiet laughter, the clinking of glasses, and the kind of soft piano music that could turn even the most tense business meeting into something that felt gentle. At the corner table, under a halo of dim golden light, sat Ethan Cole, the kind of man people whispered about when he walked into a room. CEO of a multinational tech empire, a self-made millionaire before the age of 30, a widowed single father raising an 8-year-old daughter with more tenderness than anyone would expect from a man whose name made Wall Street tremble. Tonight, though, Ethan wasn't a titan of industry. Tonight, he was just a man on a blind date, reluctantly arranged by his meddling sister, who claimed it was time he stopped eating dinners alone with spreadsheets. But what Ethan didn't know was that the date had already been compromised. Across the room, nervously fixing her dress in the mirror of her compact, sat Harper James. She wasn't there by accident. She wasn't there for love. She was there because someone had paid her to ruin Ethan's night. The job Harper's life wasn't glamorous. A struggling theater actress, she was working 2 jobs to keep the lights on in her tiny apartment. When a woman in a red designer dress approached her outside the audition studio last week with an offer, $10,000 cash to sabotage a man's blind date, Harper had laughed in disbelief. But when the woman pulled out an envelope thick with $100 bills and whispered, "Make sure he never wants to see her again. Humiliate him, embarrass him, destroy the evening," Harper's laughter stopped. She had rent due, medical bills piling up, a landlord threatening eviction. It was supposed to be one night, one dinner, one act of sabotage. Harper told herself it wasn't personal. She didn't know this Ethan Cole. Maybe he deserved it. Maybe he was just another arrogant millionaire who broke hearts for fun. But as soon as she saw him sitting there, dark suit, warm smile, looking more nervous than powerful, her plan began to unravel. First encounter. Ethan stood when Harper approached, his manners old-fashioned. "Harper?" he asked, extending a hand. She froze for a moment. His eyes, steady, kind, curious, caught her completely off guard. Most men she'd met couldn't hold eye contact for more than 2 seconds. Ethan's gaze was unflinching, yet soft, like he was actually seeing her. "Yes," she managed. "That's me." The lie slid off her tongue too easily. She wasn't the woman he was supposed to meet. That woman, the real blind date, had been sent away by Harper earlier with a clever trick, all part of the job. They sat, ordered wine, and Harper began her mission. She was supposed to spill her drink on him, interrupt him constantly, pretend to be shallow, rude, unbearable. But the problem was, Ethan kept disarming her with sincerity. When she teased him about ordering sparkling water instead of something stronger, he chuckled and said, "I need a clear head. My daughter has a science project due tomorrow. And trust me, 3rd-grade volcanoes require full concentration." Harper blinked. A daughter? That hadn't been part of the dossier. The unexpected turn. "So, you're a dad," Harper said carefully. "Best job I've ever had," Ethan replied, a softness entering his voice that melted something in her chest. "Her name's Lily. She's 8. She's my world." Harper felt the weight of the envelope of cash hidden in her purse press against her conscience. This wasn't just some arrogant playboy she was supposed to humiliate. This was a father, a widower, a man trying to balance empires and bedtime stories. "Don't get distracted," she scolded herself. "Do the job." She tried again. "So, I heard you're loaded. Must be nice having people throw money at you." It was meant to sting, but Ethan only smiled politely. "Money doesn't tuck you in at night. It doesn't." Part 2. She was paid to ruin his blind date, but the single dad CEO millionaire fell in love instead. The weeks after their reunion felt like a dream. Harper had never known happiness like this. Laughter-filled mornings with Lily at the breakfast table, evenings spent cooking with Ethan in his sleek kitchen where he somehow made grilled cheese feel gourmet, and the tender warmth of his hand in hers as they walked through the city like any ordinary couple. But they weren't ordinary. Ethan was one of the most powerful CEOs in the country. Harper was a struggling actress still haunted by the shadows of her mistake. And lurking in those shadows was the woman in red. The one who had orchestrated everything. She hadn't forgotten, and she wasn't done. A fragile peace. Ethan tried to keep things simple. His empire demanded constant attention, but he made room for Harper. He trusted her again, slowly, cautiously, but every so often, Harper caught the flicker of doubt in his eyes, the unspoken reminder that she had betrayed him once. Still, Lily adored her. The little girl would tug Harper's hand at bedtime, begging her to stay for just one more story. And every time Harper looked into Lily's trusting eyes, she vowed silently, "I will never let anything hurt you, either of you." But one evening, while Harper rehearsed lines in her tiny apartment, a knock echoed through the door. When she opened it, her heart sank. The woman in red stood there, rain dripping off her designer trench coat, eyes sharp as daggers. "Miss me?" she purred. The threat Harper's hands trembled. "What do you want? I told you, I'm done. I gave the money back." The woman stepped inside uninvited, her heels clicking ominously against the worn wooden floor. "Oh, sweetheart, I don't want your pennies. I want destruction. Ethan Cole took something from me, and I will see him burn before I let him win." "Who are you?" Harper demanded, voice breaking. The woman smiled coldly. "Let's just say, I was supposed to be the mother of his child, his wife, his everything, but he chose another. And when she died, I waited, but then you came along." Harper's breath caught. She had history with Ethan? "You're lying," Harper whispered. "Am I? Ask him about Isabel." The name hung in the air like a curse. The woman leaned close, her perfume chokingly sweet. "Stay with him, and I will destroy you. I'll destroy your pathetic career, and I'll make sure his daughter grows up knowing the woman she loves is nothing but a fraud." Then she left, slamming the door behind her, leaving Harper in the ruins of her peace. Doubts and distance. That night, Harper sat across from Ethan at dinner, her mind replaying the woman's venomous words. "Are you okay?" Ethan asked gently, noticing her silence. Harper forced a smile. "Just tired from rehearsal." But the doubt ate at her. Isabel. The name she hadn't heard before. The possibility that the woman's story wasn't just a lie. Harper wanted to ask Ethan, to demand the truth. But fear kept her quiet. What if Isabel had been his first love? What if Harper was just a replacement? And so the distance grew. Ethan sensed it. Lily sensed it. And the woman in red, watching from afar, smiled with satisfaction. The sabotage. The attack came swiftly. One morning, Ethan's company woke to headlines splashed across every financial paper. CEO Ethan Cole in scandalous affair with woman paid to seduce him. Attached were photos, grainy but damning, of Harper slipping an envelope of money into her purse outside the restaurant the night they met. The woman in red had struck. By noon, reporters were camped outside Ethan's headquarters, shouting questions about the con artist girlfriend and corporate sabotage. Investors panicked. Stocks dipped. Inside the boardroom, Ethan's partners whispered about betrayal, about weakness, about whether their CEO had lost his edge. And Ethan, furious, betrayed all over again, stormed into Harper's apartment.